Paul Padron is a retired educator here in Charleston County, and now, after serving years in the school district, he wants to serve the West Ashley area on the Charleston County School Board. In this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I speak exclusively with Paul one-on-one. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores, or listen to this interview later on the free iHeartRadio app. Mr. Paul Padron, it's so good to meet you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you also.
Likewise. Yes, sir. So as we sit here right now, I know that you are a retired educator in the school system, but now you also want to run for the Charleston County School District's West Ashley seat.
I do.
What is your story?
What is my story? Well, I've had the honor and privilege of working in the public school system right here in Charleston County for 25 years. I have met some incredible students, families, teachers, principals, and I've had the opportunity to work in all areas of Charleston, Mount Pleasant, Johns Island, West Ashley, North Charleston, and parents, they want the best for their kids, and this is our future, I feel like we've got some serious topics that we've got to get a hold of, and academic achievement has to be up there. We've got gaps, kids that are not getting what they need, and this is my way. I feel like I can continue to give back. I've dedicated my life to education. I feel that it is the equalizer for many people. It was for me. Public education gave me my life, So I feel like this is the way I can give back.
What is Eric Mack not doing in 2018 that you can do in 2019 as a school board member?
Well, I don't know whether Eric Mack is not doing or doing. What I do know is that many of them don't understand that every decision they make has a direct effect on the classroom. It has a direct effect on the students, on the teachers, on the principals. When they make a budget cut, when they add people in different areas and don't support the schools, makes life a lot more difficult. I believe the magic happens in the classroom. A great teacher, you cannot replace a great teacher. That's where the magic happens. And if we keep hitting these situations and taking away support from the schools, it makes it more difficult for these teachers to do their job.
When you look at the Charleston County School Board right now, what do you see?
I see that we have a board that's not working in tandem. They're listening and doing. You have a superintendent who's like the guidance part of this, but this should be working together. There should be some questioning of things, and there should be working together, because collaboratively is how we're going to change the school system here. It's not going to be with one person telling them what needs to happen. There's got to be some transparency. There's a lot of stuff going on that's not clear and transparent to the taxpayers and to the parents and students. It needs to be clear. It needs to be transparent.
You talk about that. Let me go to one of those issues.
Sure.
From abcnews4.com, it reads this quote: "The Charleston County School District is focusing on security efforts for the upcoming school year. On Thursday, officials announced a new effort for the upcoming school year, installing bulletproof doors at a few schools. Law enforcement officials joined Charleston County School District officials to announce the new initiative, a pilot." Is this too late, or is this just right on time?
Well, I think they need to look at a lot of things. Are the schools secure in other ways, besides the bulletproof doors? I don't know that I've heard of anyone busting through a bulletproof door or a front door to get into the building. We have schools that still don't have pure security all the way around. My last school, I didn't have cameras on my trailers. Very difficult. We need to make sure that every school is up to date to the same safety standard before we start addressing additional things.
And obviously when you talk about issues like this, it brings into the money talk.
It does.
And I know Paul Barrows of the Post-Inquiry wrote this on his Twitter page on July 17th about something different. He says this: "The price tags on 4 school construction projects in Charleston County soared by a combined $28.9 million yesterday. The school district says the busy construction market is to blame." Is it really to blame on the market?
I think some delays and not pre-planning is a problem. When I opened up the Hot Gap School, it was built for 500 kids. Well, we already met that the day we opened. So you got to plan ahead. You've got to know where the growth is going to happen, and you've got to plan accordingly. I think a lot of these things could be done with careful planning.
And let me get back to the money, because Charleston County School Board pays $188,000 for a floating consultant. And this is from the lowcountrysource.com. The first paragraph reads like this, quote, "School board candidate Jake Rambo revealed early this week that the Charleston County School District spent $65,000 for an image consultant. Low Country Source recently learned that the Charleston County School Board has paid nearly $188,000 to consultant Beth Haven since August 2016. Haven floats through various departments to work on special tasks assigned by Superintendent Jarita Postway." What type of image problem does the school board has, and the school district really, that costs us this month in your mind, Paul?
Yeah, my question is first of all, was the board aware that they approved of this? I have a hard time with this because I was asking for 2 associate reading teachers and I was told I couldn't, the budget didn't have it. I could have had many associate reading teachers for that kind of money. When my kids were reading it below the 5th grade level and I needed assistance, I wasn't able to get that. We've got to put our priorities. Our priorities have to be the kids. That's the first priority, not the image of anybody, but our students. And we've got to make sure that the money is going where it needs to go, into the schools. That's where the magic happens, is in the classroom. The teachers, the students, the principals, the communities, we have got to ensure they are being supported in each of these neighborhood schools.
And I talked about Superintendent Jarita Postway earlier, and obviously you're a lifelong educator.
Mm-hmm.
What letter grade would you give her as far as performance right now?
That's really a tough thing to try to rate, because I haven't worked with her in the capacity of being a board member.
Okay.
I've worked with her as a supervisor.
Okay.
So it's a very little different. I think there's areas that, definitely need to be improved. The challenge we have is that for 3 years we've been in a cloud because we have not had a school report card or a state report card. There's been no school report card to say what we're doing, and unfortunately I don't feel we're in the right direction. And I think when our school report card finally does come out, our county report card, we're going to be surprised at what we see, and it's not going to be good. We have too many kids, and the gaps are getting bigger, and these are all our kids, every one of them, and our gaps are getting bigger, and we're not focusing on closing that achievement gap. We've got to do it. We're not preparing our kids for the jobs that are right here. It's a global economy. We can't prepare for the jobs that are right in their back neighborhood. We've got to do something better.
You talk about the kids and you talk about performance. Let me take you back to the West Ashley area. Can you define or really name to me 3 of the top schools in the West Ashley area in your mind?
3 of the top schools?
Yes,
well,
sir.
I can tell you that West Ashley is probably the most diverse school system.
Okay.
It really is what a true working class community of families. And West Ashley High School has done an incredible job. If you look at the history behind West Ashley High School, my kids graduated from there, so I'm pretty familiar with it. They had some major challenges, yet they were able, for a while, they were getting excellent rating. They worked hard with No Child Left Behind, with so many different things. Kids moving in, lack of support, they still were able to get an excellent rating. Over the last couple of years, I'm not exactly sure, because we haven't had a school report card. But we have a lot of issues also in West Ashley because we have several magnet schools.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, we have to ensure that every one of these neighborhood schools is supported. I like choice. I believe in choice. I think the parents should have choice because they want to, not because they have to. And for many parents, it feels like they have to. One of my roles I took on was building the West Ashley Advanced Studies program, because you had one middle school that was foreseen by everybody as a better middle school. And that's a shame. We shouldn't have that. We should have 2 great middle schools in West Ashley. I've lived there 23 years, I know. So building that advanced studies program allowed parents to come in and see, hey, this is really a good school, So we've got to do innovative things at each of these schools. We've got to let them reinvent themselves. If they're not producing, we need to figure out why, support them the best we can, figure out what we can do, and ensure that kids have options to a great education right in their own neighborhoods.
And that was my question, actually, but let me expand on that.
Sure.
Where should the discussion about magnet choice and obviously charter schools go in your mind?
Well, we have to make sure that choice schools also have opportunities for kids to get there. That's the challenge. We can offer choice, but if the children don't have the opportunity to get there or to qualify, then we have a problem. We have several countywide magnets, and they're very restrictive. They're great schools. They're awesome schools. They're right at the top. But do we have access for that? in other places. Do all kids have access to those kind of schools? And if not, we need to create those kind of opportunities for the kids. Parents should have the ability to go to a school of their choice. They should have that ability. I mean, that's their greatest asset is their children. They want the best. Every parent, whether you live in a wealthy neighborhood or a challenged neighborhood, you want your best for your kids. You want the best education. And you should have that opportunity to do that. My challenge comes in is when the neighborhood school is not supported enough, that it starts to drop and we do nothing. We let it continue to decline because we have a magnet school here, we have a magnet school there, we have a magnet school there. Options are great. We have to come up with options. We've got to try different things. The standard type of school is not perfect for every child. Find something that matches your child. Every child should have that opportunity to find something that works for them. I hope I'm answering your question.
Oh, yes, you are. I'm just listening. But let's fast forward to November.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to be elected on the Charleston County School Board, what would you do on day one?
Day one, I would like to just find out where the policies are. We have a lot of policies that don't seem to be followed on a regular basis, from the hiring policies that come out quite a bit. I feel that there's a lot of policies that are not being followed. There's lack of communication between the community, teachers, principals, and the board. There used to be a time when you had that communication. I feel like it's very separated. I had a board member come to my school 2 times for the dedication and for the first day of school. Never saw them again. That's a problem. Because if you're making decisions that affect my school, I expect to see you in my school. I would expect to be at those schools, all the schools. Find out what's going on. Speak to the principals, speak to the teachers. They're in the know. They're the front lines. We're listening to other people. These are people that are in the front lines with the kids. We need to listen to them. And we need to hear them. And we need to work to support them.
Paul Padron, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate this.
I appreciate having that opportunity.
Anytime. Yes, sir. Thank you.